I want to have a Viking I could call my own. A Viking other women could not have. And with those burly, burly arms and burly, burly charms, I should be a lyricist. So anyway, this is dedicated to all the Vikings I've loved before. To all the Vikings I've loved before. I'm glad you came and knocked down my door. I'm glad you came along, and so I sing a song to all the Vikings I've loved before. That was very off-key. So sorry. So, the Viking I'd like to talk about today, I usually talk about my husband Dennis, and he was definitely a Viking. What is a Viking? I can't quite describe it, but I know some of the signs. A, he's of Nordic descent. B, he's tall and broad-shouldered. C, he has hair on his chest. What is it with today's men all shaved off? Hello? Does anybody remember Burt Reynolds? Everybody wanted hair like Burt Reynolds. Isn't it funny how fads go? I never went along with the fads. I wanted to lay my head in that nest of soft, fluffy, burly hair. So, Steve Keeney. Now, my marriage was a little rocky at the time, and my oldest, I think, was about 15 years old. Yeah, so that was like 25 years ago. So why would I want to talk about this? I don't know. I was having coffee. It just came up in my mind, and I said, hey, I'm going to talk about this guy. My husband sent me to do an antique show in Madison, Oakville, New York. I wish they all could be California boys. And Steve Keeney, we'd met before, was from California, and he was beautiful. He had this, I want to call it white hair, but it was kind of like white hair, but really blondish white. It was like natural. He was young in his 30s, but he'd gone white early. It's just gorgeous hair. And he was strong and tall, and he liked me. I mean, as a friend, I do believe he liked me. Well, anyway, so I'm at Madison, Oakville, New York, and he comes by. I'd seen him at Brimfield, and I'd seen him at Stormvilles, and, we knew him over the years. And he wanted to, hang out. So he'd leave his stuff under my canopy because he was mostly a buyer, and I think he did a couple of big shows, or the vetted type, or, you got to be somebody. And, well, we talked a lot about our personal lives, about things we wanted to do, and it was intimacy, and, when you say intimacy to a man, he thinks sex. That's not intimacy, that's sex. Well, I mean, of course sex can be intimate, but I'm talking about getting to know somebody. So, the thing that made me fall in love with him, even though I was married, and Christian ladies, listen up. I didn't do anything, okay? Purely, not really innocent, but not really, I didn't do anything. So, we went out to dinner one night. Me, Steve, and Rachel, my oldest daughter. She was about 15. And he said, would you like to share a dinner? And I said, yeah, because I didn't eat much, and he knew that. That's when I was walking 7 miles a day and eating 1,000 calories a day. And I was able to get down to 150. That was big, okay? I was only 5'2", 5'3", because I've lost like 3 inches over the years. But Yeah, so we're having dinner, and so I shared a little bit of his salad, and then when the dinner came, I cut a small piece of steak in a third of his potato, and there it was on my plate, little tiny meal. And Rachel looked at it and said, "How can you survive on that?" And Steve Keeney turned to Rachel, and I'll never forget the look on his face. He said, "Your mother is very petite." I've been called a lot of things in my time, but petite was never one of them. He was the first. I fell in love instantly. Heavy sigh. So he was supposed to pick up his stuff the next day. Oh, wait, back up. We were walking home that evening, and it was chilly, and I was shaking. And he said, "Let me go to my tent and get you a sweater," because his tent came first, and then my selling spot and where we were sleeping in the van was a mile away. Madison Boakville is huge, okay? I think there's like 5 show fields, and it's huge. It's a lot like Broomfield, Massachusetts. So he said, "You want to come see my tent?" And I said, "I think we better just wait right here." And so he went and got the sweater, and I put it on, said goodnight, and he was supposed to come the next morning to pick up his stuff. Well, the next morning when I got to my selling tent, I had a canopy. His stuff was gone, and the neighbor knew him really well, and I went to the neighbor, who was a nasty little troll who thought I was having an affair with him because of that smirk on his face. "Wipe that smirk off your face, Buster. Nothing happened." So I said, "Hey, where's Steve's stuff?" He said, "Steve came early this morning. He took his stuff and he's gone back to California." I said, without saying goodbye? And that's when troll, yeah, I guess. If you're watching this, Mr. Troll, and I don't remember your name because there was nothing special about you. Anyway, I was sad. Here I was with Steve's sweater. It was a beautiful cable knit sweater of a lovely pink salmon color. I love a man who can pull off salmon pink. Very Viking, I think. So, I kept that sweater for 15 years. I'd take it out of my hope chest and I'd smell it because it smelled like him, the man who thought I was petite. And I had this, imaginary fantasy in my head that I was going to take my 1995 Dodge Ram 1500 short wheelbase conversion van, which was so cool. It was green, and the interior rug was this like great sea green. Anyway, but I didn't. And eventually I would give the sweater to, I don't know, Salvation Army, Goodwill, what have you. And that was the end of my imaginary affair. Viking men. I love Viking men. So, that's my story for today, and I'm sticking to it. Stay tuned because my next video is going to be a hoarder's... What did I call it? I know I was thinking about it earlier. I don't know. I'm going to do a special on hoarding. We're going to go through my stuff and see exactly what I'm keeping and why. I also want to do one on antique dealers and hoarding. That should be my next one, maybe. Yes, that's important. Okay, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for watching. Bye.